Elena had lived in the same apartment for 15 years. From her small balcony, she had a perfect view of the abandoned lot across the street. For as long as she could remember, it had been nothing but weeds, broken concrete, and the occasional illegal dumping. On particularly rough days, like today when she'd been passed over for promotion again, she would sit on her balcony with a cup of tea and stare at the lot, finding it a fitting metaphor for her stalled life. At 42, she felt overlooked, forgotten, and stuck, just like that useless piece of land, she muttered to herself. The next morning, Elena woke to the sound of machinery. Peering through her curtains, she spotted a small bulldozer clearing the lot. Over the following days, she watched with mild curiosity as a group of people, mostly older folks and a few teenagers, began transforming the space. They brought in soil, built raised beds, and installed a small shed. Elena observed their work during her morning coffee and evening tea rituals, curious but maintaining her distance. One evening, as she watered her lone balcony succulent, an elderly woman from the group across the street noticed her and waved enthusiastically. "We could use another pair of hands," the woman called up. "We're meeting again tomorrow at 9. Elena smiled politely but made no commitments. Yet the next morning, finding herself with another empty Saturday stretching before her, she surprised herself by crossing the street. "I'm Elena," she said to the elderly woman. "I don't know anything about gardening." "Perfect!" "Neither did I 6 months ago," the woman replied with a laugh. "I'm Margaret. We're all learning together." That first day, Elena learned to prepare soil and plant seedlings. Her corporate-trained mind was irritated by the group's disorganization, but there was something soothing about working with her hands in the earth. She returned the next weekend and the next. She created a spreadsheet to track plantings and harvests, which the group adopted enthusiastically. A teenage boy showed her how to build trellises for climbing vegetables. Margaret taught her to identify beneficial insects. When Elena mentioned her job frustrations one day, a retired accountant in the group suggested she apply for a position at the environmental nonprofit where his daughter worked. "They need someone who can organize like you do," he said. 3 months later, the once barren lot had transformed into a vibrant community garden bursting with vegetables, flowers, and constant activity. Elena had transformed too, into the garden's unofficial coordinator and into a new job at the nonprofit, where her organizational skills were valued. On a warm autumn evening, as the group gathered for an impromptu harvest dinner at picnic tables they'd built together, Elena looked around at these people who had become her friends. Margaret caught her eye and smiled. "You know," the older woman said, "this garden was just an idea I had after my husband died. I never imagined it would grow into all this." Elena nodded, understanding completely. The garden had given Margaret purpose after loss. It had given the teenagers constructive work and the retired folks community. And it had given Elena something she hadn't even known she was missing. Not just new opportunities, but roots. As twilight fell and solar lights twinkled on around the garden's perimeter, Elena realized she no longer needed to escape her life. Instead, she had grown a new one, right here where she had always been, just like the garden itself.